Okay. So yesterday, if you recall, what we learned yesterday is on Pandas. Okay, one of the libraries of Python, especially for dealing with data manipulation. Okay, so we have seen series, we have seen data frame, and then we have played around with reading a file, different format, and so on. Okay, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna add um, some more steps to the pandas what we have learned yesterday. Okay, so if you see, we have learned about the pandas basics, creating and exploring data frames, indexing, data cleaning, and all will come across. Okay, so we're gonna do all these things today. Okay, creating sorry, introduction to pandas, importing in data frame, and then we're gonna also see creating data frame from dictionary, okay, from list, from CSV or Excel or NumPy arrays, okay, and then exploring data with head function, tail function, info, describe, shape, column, and data type. Okay, these are very important. It will give you the clear picture about your data. Okay, if you miss this, okay, these steps, uh, you might take a wrong decision making on your data. Okay, so this gives you a very good picture about your data. Okay, then we'll try all these things one by one, and then we will practice uh, in today's session. Okay, so you know what is pandas. Okay, so pandas is a library that is used for data manipulation, and it's a library from Python. Okay, so how do we import uh, 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 pandas and numpy? Using a keyword called import. Okay, import pandas as pd, and then we can say, 1 minute, pd. Okay, and then I can also say import numpy as np. Okay, short form. Okay, first I want to load this library. Okay, now if you want to see the version of your Python pandas, or the pandas version, right? How do you do that? Okay, you can say print. Okay, print, inside that you can say pd dot underscore. Okay, two scores. If you type, you will see version. Okay, so this is the command that you have to use to check the pandas version. Okay, I'll just uh, run it through control and enter. Okay, so my current version is 223. Okay, this is the current version of pandas I'm using on my box. Okay, now next thing is we're gonna create a data frame. Okay, so this sheet, right, whatever I'm going to share it, right, you keep it separately. Okay, this will act as a template for you when you want to refer something. Okay, you just create a copy of this file, and then you can make use of it. From, sorry, I was typing something, h2 data frame. Okay, so yesterday we have seen what is data frame. Data frame, anything in the form of rows and columns. Okay, so how do we do that? So first I'll create a variable called data empty. Okay, and the dictionary starts with curly braces. Okay, 1 minute guys, I want to remove this autocomplete. Just give me 1 second. uh, Notebook, Jupyter, where is Jupyter notebook? Notebook, auto closing bracket, rectangular, multi-selection, default cell type is code, automatically start, preferred kernel, auto closing brackets, special line wrap, rectangular selection, multiple selection, auto closing bracket, highlight special line rectangular. Somewhere should be there auto complete or something. Okay. Uh, uh, enable auto completion. Okay. I'll just uncheck it. Okay. And then I'll just close it. Okay. How do you refresh? How do you apply those settings? Okay. So one way is you can save your file and then you can refresh your screen. Okay. Refresh your browser. So that gets applied. Okay, whatever the settings we have applied, that auto completion is a little weird. Okay, so I just want to get rid of it. Okay, now creating a data. Okay, now creating a data. So first thing, what you need a column name. Okay, how do you define name colon? Okay, and this should be in quotation. Okay, so I'll add it here. Mm, name. Okay, and what are the names you have to give in square brace? Okay, name, I'll take three names, Ram, okay, I'll take some names here. On that I'll just remove this one, I'll take random name, Bob. Okay, so I have these names. So this is first column, which is name, and these are the rows. Okay, now I want to add the second one, so I'll put a comma here. I'll come to the second lane here. So what is the title I'm thinking for? Next one is age. Okay, and to separate your column and rows you have to use a colon. Okay, and then square braces, and then I'll type some random 23 comma 32 comma 23. Okay, and the third row I'll take city. Okay, so first one I'll take as New York comma Paris, London, and the last one I'll take as Tokyo. Okay, so these are the three columns: name, age, city, and these are the values I'm going to populate, and then I will close it. Okay, so how do we close? With the curly braces. Okay, so this is the curly braces. I closed it. Okay, now I want to store everything in a data frame. Okay, so how do I do that? I'll say df one variable I'll take, and then I'll say pd. Okay, PD is nothing but at the top wherever we have import, that's a pandas alias. Okay, PD dot, or you can type pandas also, no issues. Okay, you can type like this also. Okay, but we prefer short only. Okay, sometimes in machine learning, right, the name will be very lengthy. Okay, so sometimes you might make some spelling mistakes and all that, right, which will take a lot of time to debug and all that. Okay, so that is the reason we create this PD. Okay, PD is nothing but your pseudonym dot, I need data frame. Okay, data frame, I want to create a data frame. For which data? Data. Okay, top, the one which I declared, name, age, and city. Okay, and then I want to print the data frame, how it looks like. Okay, now you see I have this data. Okay, so I have name, age, and city. Okay, and these are the indexing property. Okay, now what we'll do is we will try list also. Okay, so if I have a list and I want to create what do you called a data frame from a list. Okay, so how are we gonna do that? I'll just write it, uh, creating a data frame from our list. Okay, because I'll tell you why we are doing a different approach is you never know how your data gonna be. Okay, so for example, this is my data. Okay, this is a list. So you see here I don't have any column here. Okay, so here you see name, age, and city. I have the headings here, right? Here I don't have 1 A 2 B 3 C, some random number list. Okay, now I want to convert this into a data frame. Okay, how do I go about it is I'll say df2. Okay, I'll take a random variable df2 because df I have already created here, so I'll take df2 pd dot data frame. Okay, open and close braces. First parameter that you have to pass here is data. Okay, what is your data? Data is nothing but your data name only, because you, whatever the name you gave here variable, that you have to specify, comma, it will take lot of parameters. Okay, now we need to mention the columns. Okay, what columns you need? So I'll say columns. Okay, columns is equals, okay, I'll say number, comma, letter. Okay, now what I'm adding here is, see, in this data I don't have a column name. Okay, whereas in the first statement you see I have added column and data. That is the reason our data looks in a data frame format with a rows and columns and looks neat, right? Here I have just a data. Say for example, just assume if I run, I'll just get this Ram, Sham, Sita, Bob, and this one. Okay, no headings. So what I'm adding is now columns is equal. See, you will get this type of data. So these are just basics. I'm doing three rows data. Okay, so in reality you will get millions of records. Okay, when you are working and all that. So we are adding a column where we don't have a column heading. Okay, in our data. So one is, the first one is a number. You see, number, number, number. So I added number. What is the second one? Letter. Okay, letter. Okay, something like this. I'll add it and then I will run df2. Okay, why df2? Because I'm storing everything here. I'll run this. Okay, now you see, now it looks good, right? What if I don't add this column? Okay, I'll show you without column also. I'll just take a copy of this and I will move this up. How to move? Yeah, up arrow. Okay, so I'll move it here. Now what I'll do is I'll remove the column section. Okay, now you see it gives zeros and ones. Does it make any sense? No, right? If you have a proper headings for your columns based on the data, see, who gonna assess this? You as a data analyst or data advocate, you have to assess what kind of data is this. Okay, if it is a phone number, you will write at the top mobile number. Okay, if it is something to do with SSN number, you will write Aadhaar number or SSN number, right? It all depends what kind of data you are working on. Okay, so this is without a heading, this is with heading. Make sense, guys?
Yes, sir.
Now what we'll do is we will explore data. Okay, so explore data. Okay, now whatever the data frame we have created here, df and all, right, we will not create any data, we'll just play around with this data only. So first uh, uh, command that I'm gonna run is df dot head. Okay, head will give you the top five rows. Okay, right now in our data set we have only four. Okay, that's okay. If you want only two, you can say mention in the bracket two and then run it, you'll get only two rows. Okay, I'll leave it as empty so that you can practice when I share this. Okay, and the next one, head is done, df dot tail. Okay, tail will give you the last five rows. Okay, so you can see it will give the same thing only because we have only four records, right? So it will show you the same thing. Okay, if you add 10 records, so last 10 records, five records, it will show from the bottom. Okay, now we'll see the describe method. Df dot.
Suren, how did we confirm that it will show the last five only? Five? How did we arrive at the number five?
No, no, right now I have only four records. If I
Uh,
have 10 records,
uh,
last five records, whatever the last from, say, if you have a 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, these are the five records it will show.
no, so my question is, how are we associating the number five with tail? Is that standard or
Yeah, is it by default? It takes last five records and the top five records by
head
default.
takes top five?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
if you
Got
want 10, you can explicitly mention here. Okay, say for example, you want only three. Okay, for example, three. Okay,
it.
now it will
Okay,
show only three. Okay, if I say tail, only two records I need, last two records.
got
Okay,
you. So the
three, two.
default is five. Okay.
Default is five. Okay, I'll write it down here. Okay, so by default it will show five. Okay, if you don't explicitly mention anything within the bracket. Right now I just four records, but we will practice something more today. Okay, so basics I'm just playing with four records and all, right, so that you can understand. Now describe method. Okay, what describe method does is it gives you the statistical imputation on your data and it will pick only the numeric data. What is numeric data here? Age. You can see the age here. Okay, now if I add one more here, uh, record, okay, it will show five. Okay, but here let's try to understand what is it giving. Okay, total count, how many rows are there? Four. Okay, one, two, three, four. Okay, what is the average? Okay, it will sum up by four, it will do, and you get this value 25 point. So someone asks you what is the average of age that you see here? 25. Okay, 25.7 is the average age. What is the standard deviation? 4.27, the difference from the mean. Okay, so left side, right side, the deviation is 4.27. Okay, and then what is the minimum value out of this value? 23. Okay, 23. Okay, and what is the max? 32. Okay, and what is this 25 percentile? So out of this four data, which are the data sets or data points fall under 25? Okay, so which is 23. Okay, and 50 percentile 24. The age group people with the age group of 24 fall under 50 percentile, and 26 and above fall under 75 percentile. Okay, if you have here age as 102, okay, I'm telling, give an example, that will be treated as outlier, because you see all these data points, they are near to each other, right? 23, 32, 23, 25. But if you say 150 here, that is the outlier. Okay, so we need to treat those outliers, because when you compute all five numbers, okay, you will get a different mean here. Okay, then your decision will not I mean apply I mean you cannot apply that, because it will definitely give you a wrong inference. Okay, so these are the things we're going to do, all those things one by one, and then we will solve some problems. Okay, so one by one we'll go basics, and then we'll get into all these things. Describe. Okay, now this is done. Now we'll just play around with the indexing. Okay, so whatever we learned yesterday, indexing also I want to add indexing and selection. Okay, selection means you're selecting a particular row. So we're going to play with the same data. So if I say df name, okay, if I want to see a, a detail about name column, okay, name column I want to see. So how do I do that? I can say df is nothing but your data frame variable, and within square bracket you have to pass on the column name. Okay, if you have 10 columns, you can add 10 columns like age, city, and all that you can add. Okay, so where is, yeah, oh, you can see this. Okay, and the index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what if you want to see two selection of columns? Okay, for example, I have 150 columns. Okay, in a data set that I'm working, I'm interested in only two columns. Okay, how do I do that? df, then inside this you can say name, then you can say comma, and then you can say what is the other one, city. City. Okay, and you see C is capital. Okay, so this is case sensitive, guys. Okay, if I add city as normal lower case, it will not work. Okay, so it is still compiling. There you go. Okay, so it says it actually gives you the key error here. Okay, it says city not in index. Immediately you go to your main this thing and see how city is written here. C is capital. Okay, you can go immediately and change it to C caps. Okay, so Python is case sensitive. There you go. Okay, now you have all these things. Okay, now you know how to do the selection. So you have to remember these two square braces. Okay, so this will act as your dictionary. Okay, this sheet that I'm going to share, you make a copy. See, whenever you want to do an indexing or selection, you come here. Okay, I have to do something like this. Okay, take this example, and there you add two square brackets, and then if you want three also you can do. Okay, for example, I want name and age. Okay, so age and name. Okay, see, I'm working on this only, on this data set. I am not interested in city. Okay, so I want to work on these two data set and columns, so I can use something like this. Okay, you can store it in some other variable also. Okay, so if you want to store it in df uh, 3, okay, I will add it in 3. Okay, and then the next line I'll say df3. Okay, so you see here, so it is applied into this one df3, not in df. Okay, so even if you type df again, you will see same old data. Okay, so you have to be uh, uh, very much understand the difference between equal to and when you type this command. Okay, so you can transfer that into a different variable also, and you can use this variable throughout your analysis. That also you can do it. Okay, now we'll play around with df dot iloc. Okay, I stands for index, loc stands for location. Okay, index location, yesterday we have seen, right? I'll say 0 colon 2. Okay, example. Okay, so 0, it will start from 0 and the second record, first record and second record. Okay, okay, it will show first record and second record. Okay, so if you're looking for a specific records, you can do that. Okay, 1 minute, I'll just copy this and I'll say 0 to 3. Okay, okay, 0 to 3 means it will start from 0, first, second. Okay, 0 also is added here. Okay, so this is the first, second and third. So 3 records it will show. Okay, now we'll do some conditional formatting here. Okay, conditional. Okay, so how do we do that? With the iloc, I'll show you. Df dot location, I'll take a location. Okay, I'll take the df of which column I want to specify here, age. Age. Okay, age is greater than, okay, greater than 30. Okay, see, in data frame, I'm checking the location for which column, age column, where I want to see the data sets where age is greater than 30. Okay. See, I have only one column which is 32, which is correct. Okay. If I want to see the same reverse where age is less than 30, okay, you have to use these operators. We learned already these operators and all. Okay, don't tell me you don't know now. You have to refer to the basics. See, only 3 records. Okay, so you can do all this manipulation with your data set. Okay, basic, just play with basics, guys. Okay, okay, this one. Next is uh, data cleaning. Okay, I'll show you the data cleaning also. Hmm, okay, H2 data cleaning. Okay, generally when we get this data set, right, in the form of excel, csv, or any format. Okay, or in fact, even if you get it from your database. Okay, even from your database, what happens is sometimes there is a tendency that in some rows you will find some gibberish value, or something or missing value. Okay, intentionally. Okay, so we have uh, EDP professionals, right? EDP stands for electronic data processing. Okay, what they do is, if you see the Sensex and all, right? I mean, maybe you might have seen at your house. I mean, near your house, these people come once in a year. Okay, census people from the government bodies, and they will collect how many people are in single home. Okay, they'll take all those data in a form. Okay, manually, and then that form is shared with people, okay, who are there in their office, and who will add those electronically. Okay, electronically means in excel sheet. Okay, or if they have a database where there is an interface, web interface, they will add one by one. Okay, sometimes we are humans, right? And I mean, there is a tendency that we might miss typing, or we might type some gibberish letter instead of something. Okay, so it happens. We are humans. Okay, so when you get such type of data, we need to treat. We need to do one task that is called data cleaning. Okay, how do we do that? First, we'll add. See, since we have this data df, okay, df, we have df, right? So we have these values. Okay, now I will add something empty here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll say df dot location, df dot location. Okay, and I'll take a second value. Okay, uh, comma in city. Okay, in city uh, is equal to none. Okay, 1 minute. None means green, it should come. None. Okay, not capital. Okay, none. Okay, and then I will print the df again to see whether it has applied or not. Okay, now you see you have a city here. Okay, which one is the second? 1, 2. Okay, so Paris will go away. Okay, now you see df.log, you see Paris has gone. Okay, so it is starting from 0, 1, 2. Sita. Yeah, sorry, Sita. Yeah, this is 2, right? I thought 1. Okay. So you see now I have changed. Earlier it was London. I moved it to, sorry, I made it as none with a blank statement. Now you get this type of data. Okay. Now you want to find out which age groups are coming from which city maximum. Okay. Right now we have 4, but if you have 10,000 rows, okay, you have to do the analysis. Okay, based on that you can do the admission process and all that. You can build your strategies around this. Okay, so here I have a none. Okay, now how do you treat the none? We'll see. Okay, now first we'll see whether we have any null value or not. Okay, how do we do that? We have something called df dot, okay, I'll say is. Okay, is null function is there. Okay, is null function, is null function. Okay, first I'll run this. Okay, it gives you in the form of categorical false, false, false. You see, I know if you have 4 records, you can very well see. What if you have 10,000 rows? Are you going to scroll up and down and read each and every line? No, right? If you have a less data like 50 rows, and which is very crucial for you to check each line, then you can use this is null. Okay, so null will give you, see here you have a true, means that means some missing values are there. Okay, now what I'll do is, how do we check the sum? Okay, I can say dot, I can use sum function. Okay, simple, and then I'll run it. So it says city, in city row 1, I have 1 rows where the value is missing. Simple. Makes sense, guys? Yes, no? Am I audible?
Yes, Suren, yes.
Okay, so I see
Suren,
you
just
can
repeat the please repeat the some part, Suren.
see right now. 1 minute. I'll just remove all these things. Result.
I understood up to is null. This is null, and then when you put some, how did the city come as one?
Okay, so I have this data. Okay, so I have this 4 rows. Okay, and here I've added a null value here. Okay, by running this value. Okay, now you see this has moved to none. Okay, now when you get a data, right, there are prerequisites. Okay, for you to run and check, run a check on your data to see how many missing values are there. Okay, now is null, what it will do is it will give you the categorical representation of your data. Okay, you see false means nothing is missing. What you see here true means something is missing. None is a not a city name. Okay, it analyze that and it will give you true. Okay, but see this is a four rows record. Okay, what if you have 10,000 or 1 million records? Is it possible to go scroll one by one and check whether we have true or not? No, right? So in that case, if you use the sum function, it will show you how many rows are missing. Okay.
Got you.
Now, so now here it shows under city column, there is one value where it is missing. Okay. That is what it's gonna show. And see, we have three columns: name, age, and city. So name 0, none is missing. Okay, and age 0, none is missing. Okay, and city 1 is missing, one value. That is where it
So,
says true.
so
Okay,
here basically the sum is returning the uh,
correct,
count of missing item.
correct.
Okay.
Okay, and also you can use the info also. Okay, df.info will give you the same, but in a granular level. Okay, now you see here the total four entries are there. Okay, and the index starts from 0 to 3, and here three columns: name, age, city. Now you pay attention here, non-null. Okay, non-null means no missing value, but here you see first his name is 4, age is 4, and city should be also 4, right? But here it says 3. What that means is one value is missing here. That is what you can see. There are different ways. One is this way, one is this way, one is this way. Okay, I use basically this one. Okay, these two, sum and this one, info. It will give you the picture about your data. Okay, and how do you treat your data? Okay, now if I want to treat my data with something else, see what is this city name, right? So I will say df dot, there is a function called fill na function. Okay, fill not applicable. NA stands for not applicable. Okay, that is the funny name they have given, but okay, you can use this function to fill that value which was missing. Okay, so I will say daily. Okay, and I'll run this. Okay, now you see Sita 32 daily. So I have treated this data. Okay, now another option that I can think of is drop NA. Okay, now again I have to run this to none. Okay, I'll run one more time. Okay, I'll run this. Okay, now you see I have removed again none. I have made it as none. Okay, now if see for example you have 10,000 records and you have only one missing value. Okay, and this is not important for your analysis. Okay, it is your call as a data advocate whether you want to treat this one column, sorry, one row, or you want to remove it. Okay, so sometimes at times you will take a hard decision to remove that or drop that data. Okay, how do you do that? You will say df dot, df is your data frame, drop. Okay, so 1 minute. It's called drop na. Okay, drop na function. Okay, that's it. Okay, you run it. Okay, now you see that entire row is gone. Third, Sita 32 none is gone. See, this is one way of treating your data. Okay, we miss that. Even the data that you work at work, right, at your work, whatever data you're working with, sometimes we miss those missing data. But you take an average, you do pie chart, you do bar chart and all, you give a nice description and all that, right? But actually is you have to do all this analysis to see if you have a drop, sorry, if you have a missing value. Okay, and there are different ways that you can treat the missing values. This is very important in data science. Clear? What is the time now? 9:22. Okay, we'll do one or two more. H2. Now what is that I want to give is operations. Okay, operations. This is a heading. Okay, this is the heading. Now what we'll do is we'll say df. Okay, before that I want to run the full data. Okay, again what I have to do is I have to run this one. Where is my data frame? Initial one, creating a data frame. Okay, so one time if you run, you will have all this data. Okay, you leave all this thing whatever we have done testing and all. So df, so all this data is there. Now I'll do some operation on this data. I'll say df dot, I have sort index sort values, sort value function. Okay, now I'll sort it based on what? Age. Okay, you do pivoting and all and then you'll sort it, right? Sometimes you guys do it, right? So here I'll pick the numeric one and I want to sort the data. Now you see how the age are. Now after running this, you see that difference. Okay, 23, 23, 25, 32. See, this is sorted based on age, numeric value. Same thing you can do it with name or city. Okay, we'll do for city. Okay, L M N O P Q R S T. See, alphabetically ordered, the first letter. Okay, so these are all the values that you'll be using. Okay, with when you are doing this manipulation and analysis and all, right? You're gonna do all these things: sort value, drop NA, fill NA. Okay, I location. Okay, all this will be very useful, very useful. Just add few more rows here, cells. Okay, now if I want to do some operation for the age, I want to increase this age by 5 or 10 years. Okay, how do I do that? I'll type df, then square braces. Inside I'll add age. Age is my column. Okay, and I'll come out of the bracket of braces and then I'll say plus 5. Okay, I'll run this. You see, so it has added 5 to the existing values. Okay, so the first one is 23 plus 5, 28, then 37. Okay, 25 plus 5, sorry, 32 plus 5, 37, 28. You see here, 30 is for this, adding 5 to 25. Okay, you can do all these things, guys. Plus, minus, you have to practice. Okay, this is subtraction, this is addition, sorry, it is plus. Okay, so this way also you can do. Okay, if you type df now, okay, so it has not appended to df. Okay, this age whatever we have added to only age, this is just this is a temporary in nature. Okay, what if you want to add this to permanent? Okay, 25, 23, 32 and 25, how do you do that? Okay, here why it is not clicking here? Yeah, okay, I can say df equals this. Okay, now if I run, you see here it has added. Okay, a minute. Okay, again I have to run this. Okay, where is my data frame? That's it. One time you run it, it will be stored. Okay, this is just for your learning purpose. Okay, now you have to see this. Okay, what is next I want to show is, yeah, see right now you see here, name is there, right? Name, you see here, Ram, Sham, Sita, and okay. If you want to add any uppercase, okay, so how do you gonna do? Df name, then you will say dot, you will press string. Okay, this is the string action that you are doing. Okay, on your string, name is a string. Okay, so you see Ram, Nam, Sham, Sita, and Bomb, these are all strings. Dot, then you have to say what do you want to do. You'll say upper, sorry, not 90. Okay, now you see Ram, Sham, Nam, Sita, and Bomb. Okay, all are in uppercase. Okay, so you can use upper. Same thing you have in lower also. Okay, something like this. Okay, why I'm teaching all this thing is in real time data, right? You have Sham here or Sita is there, no? So it will be like small s I, T will be in capital, and A. Okay, it doesn't look good, so you have to do some formatting also. Okay, correction. So you will use this function, upper, lower. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what's the time now, guys? 9:30. Okay, so I'll not take much time. What we'll do is we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to share this. We have some other things here. Okay, like aggregation, grouping, then combining data. Okay, you have two data frame. Okay, two CSV files, CSV A, CSV B. Okay, you want to combine both files. How do you do that? Okay, we're going to learn all these things because in database we have something called joins. Okay, so we have left join, right join, union all. So these are the functions that we're going to use in database system to combine tables. Okay, here we don't have tables, we have a CSV file, okay, or Excel file. Say you have a two Excel files, one has a employee data and another one has a project update and what is his contribution to project. Okay, you have scored in certain numbers. Okay, and you want to pull a report by joining both. What you'll do is you can use something called combining data. Using combining data you can combine both the data, okay, using a concat. Okay, there is a function called concat. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Okay, and also we have merge. Okay, so we'll see all these things tomorrow. Okay, not today. Tomorrow we'll practice more. Okay, and then we will once we are done with this, probably next week and all, we're going to work on data. Okay, so real data, we'll pick up some data sets from the internet, like the famous data sets are Netflix, then we have customer segmentation, then we have customer support, surveys and all, right? So how you going to treat those data? Same thing, you have to apply those concepts with your real-time data at your work. Okay, even we have HR data, okay, rating data and all that. So you will get all these data sets from Kaggle. Okay, so like I said, please create your account. Okay, if you have not created, please do it, because there are a lot of golden source there that you will be using to I mean download that file and then you can make use of it. Okay, chalo, we'll close this session today. Uh, Tomorrow we're gonna meet again, same time 8:30, and then we'll do